Uh, I missed my graduation, eighth grade graduation, because of the scarlet fever. But anyhow, my freshman year, I'll start there. Dad had always said, when you can make pancakes as good as Mother, he'd get me a permanent. Well, I knew that had never happened, and I think he did too. But anyway, had to have a permanent. And then we went to start to high school. And there was a farm family that was having really a rough time, so they moved to town and they decided they'd rent their rooms to us. So there were four of us girls, and this house, I'll describe it as it had a big cement porch across the front, and then they went into one room, which was ours, and we had a room off to one side that was our bedroom. Both of these rooms were fairly good size. And off of the other side was where Mr. and Mrs. Peterson's bedroom was. And they had hung carpets then on the end of our kitchen. And there was their a dining room, but off of it, one way was where there were two bedrooms, one where their nephew, who they also took in, and their son, and off the other side of that room was a bedroom where they had their two daughters, and this went into a kitchen, and across the kitchen was the bathroom, one bathroom in this house. I don't know how the lady lived because there was, let's see, that's four freshmen and the nephew and one daughter. So there were six freshmen in that house, one senior and one middle school, and we were not quiet. Mrs. Peterson would knock on the wall at night and she'd say, "It's nighttime, girls." Well, the four of us thought this was kind of funny. At that time, this was the first time any of the four of us has been away from home. None of us knew how to cook. Well, maybe the others did a little bit, but anyhow, the parents would take turns. One week, one would furnish all the food for us, and that week was your week, and you had to fix the meals. And the next week was another one, so it only happened once a month. And so you'd better be on good terms with one of the girls, or you'd have it all to do yourself, which is very seldom. It had a wood heating stove in there, and back in where their garage was, they kept the cobs, so we had to have cobs in there, start a fire, which I don't know whether, I know I'd never made a fire, I don't know whether they had or not, so we had to learn how to make a fire. And we were about a block from the high school. So we walked back and forth from there, and we all got along pretty well. And at this time, I was kind of still going with the fellow that brought me home from that dance, and the other girls were dating a little bit. Well, two of them got in an argument over some boy, and one girl, which turned out to be Mary Days, which married a cousin, her sister, she moved out. So that left just the three of us. So in this bedroom, we'd had two double beds. Well, we had them take out one bed, and the three of us slept together, so we had more room there. So we had just the bedroom with a closet. And we had a good year. We usually just stayed Monday through Thursday, because unless there was a football game, we'd stay Friday night and go home on Saturday. But lots of times we'd go home on Saturday and then come home back on either Monday morning when Dad came into a meeting, or we'd stay after church. So really, we were only there 4 nights. Uh, so we roomed there that year. The next year, my sophomore year, Wilma Jean, that was one of Walter's daughters, started the high school. And we lived in a basement apartment. And there was three apartments down there. One room right across from ours was a girl that Margarita roomed with, and a senior girl, and then down the hall was 2 others. And Wilma Jean's room and mine, I don't know. All there was a double bed in there, and it fitted against the wall, and a dresser, and I think we had our 2 chairs in there. And our clothes closet was what had formerly been what they called a dumbwaiter. It was just kind of a square box compartment. And they'd have a pulley. If there was anything in the basement, they'd pull it up to upstairs. Well, they took that part out. This was our closet. And then each apartment had a curtained off kitchen. And it was fairly good, but nothing but the stove and the cupboard and table and so on. And each one of those had the curtained off kitchen. And at the end of the room, why, there were 2 wash tubs. I mean, I'm sure that's what they used it for. They were cement tubs. And that's where we had to wash our dishes and so on. Each apartment. And one bedroom, bathroom down there. And I think there was some kind of a cob closet down there that, well, it didn't affect us, but anyway. Anyhow, and the upstairs of this house was the kitchen that was brought from Dad's farm, and I think that kitchen is still onto that house. After all these years, they built around it. And once in a while, we could go up the stairs if we wanted to make a telephone call or anything. Why, we'd go up and talk to Mrs. Rule. She kept her eye on us pretty close. At night, she'd go sit on the top step of her stairs and look down there to see if what was making any noise, if we were making too much noise or so on. Okay, the end of that year, they had the junior-senior prom. The juniors had the prom and banquet for the seniors, and their theme was Hawaii. And that was the year that they let, I think there was 10 of us, sophomore girls, serve them. And we wore grass skirts, supposedly grass skirts. Most of them wore blouses over the top or skirts underneath. And when Mother, or really Dad, saw this, he said, well, she's got to wear more than that. So Mother, somehow she made shredded a paper sacks and put the paper sacks along with the bright orange grass skirts that we had. And then she made me a halter to match the top of the skirt she put on there. So that was kind of fun because we got to stay in for the dance, us 10 girls. And I don't know what.